Previously on High Stakes Poker, 5 new faces took to the felt to join Ivy, Dwan, and Agronu.
Can I see the river? I've never made a roll in my life.
You're a live player. You play like 300 hands a year.
High Stakes rookies Dennis Phillips, Andrew Roble, and Lex Veldhouse took some time getting their feet wet.
Were you ever thinking about folding?
Yeah, I was never thinking about folding.
Barry Greenstein stayed out of the way, except when he was trying to see Ivy's cards. Patrick Antonius had his pocket aces cracked by Phil Ivy's kings. A scary board kept everyone's stacks intact.
I'm all in. Unless they your ladies and your monster, that's what it takes. And if you got what it takes, and you can bring high stakes.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your reporter, Gabe Kaplan, and here are the headlines from last week's episode. Phil Ivey ran his kings up against Patrick Antonius' aces and got bailed out by the deck, proving once again that bullets are not bulletproof. Tom Derdwan went on a mini catching spree and wounded veteran Daniel Negreanu and newcomer Dennis Phillips with some great value bets. Barry Greenstein was unusually quiet, mainly because he was to Phil Ivey's right. Ivy is the #1 player in the world and was keeping him in check. And newcomer Lex Veldhouse took a critical but self-inflicted wound to his chip stack by trying to bluff Andrew Roble. Lex lost almost $90,000 in one hand. And now let's join the action for more breaking news. And there are our stack sizes. Tom Dwan is our big winner, $219,000. Dennis Phillips and Lex Veldhouse are both stuck over $100,000. Phil Ivey is on a little break.
So why? No.
And each minute Phil Ivey takes a break probably costs him a couple $1,000.
Sorry.
Been doing very well this season. Andrew Robo looks at ace-3 suited and says that's good to make it 4,000. Daniel says, you got 1 3, I got 2 3s over here, so I'm going to call you 4,000. And will you look at that, sports fans? A little guest appearance by the case 3. Check by Daniel. I'm going to check my full house. Maybe Andrew will bite. At that point, Andrew's hand should have looked pretty good to him. Daniel's not checking anymore. Well, we were able to find a card under a 3, so if Andrew's hand looked good on the flop, it should look even better now. He might even consider a little raise here, which Daniel would love. Andrew just calls. Safe looking 6, unless someone has a 4-5, which seems unlikely.
Two pairs.
Check, check.
Never be too careful.
That was a little different. No, that wasn't me being careful.
Never be too careful.
Daniel wasn't being careful. He was just trying to induce a bluff.
Nice game we have over here. How are we possibly going to make money?
Good action on this season of High Stakes Poker.
Well, weird. I played.
That's why we played in 10 months with Tom. You played that in 1 day?
In January, like in the first week, I think I played 160,000 hands or something.
Pretty standard.
Wow, Lex said
I've not played
he
it.
paid 160,000 hands in the first week of January. Plus, he's got a day job, a girlfriend. He's building an extension on his house.
Even be able to pay attention.
He's a clocksmith, by the way, in the Netherlands.
I mean, I figured you were going to say like half or 1 or something. 3 for 100.
Me and Durr.
Durr! Not raising here with the ace-queen. Daniel's got an inside straight draw, needs an 8. Daniel said I won the first pot. Let me take a shot here. Dirk curls with ace high. You are correct, Dirk. However, there's Daniel straight. Instamatic fold by Durr. He feels if Daniel wasn't there already, that 8 put him there, and he is correct. That's why Juan is one of Durr best.
Poker, like a lot of things in life, it's all about strategy. Sometimes it pays to act weak when you're really in a position of strength. Learn to play better poker for free at the world's largest poker site, PokerStars.com, and find the poker star in you.
Welcome back to High Stakes Poker. Phil Ivey is back in the fold, and now break time for Tom
I
Dwan.
don't call you that often. It might feel like I do, but I actually don't.
Okay.
Okay. See, it feels like that, right? Usually you call me. I don't call you.
I gotta try to make it so you can see a flop.
Thank you. See a couple.
Both Patrick with pair of fours and Daniel with ace jack, just going to call. They let in Lex. And Dennis and Barry in the big blinds got a big hand. Raises to 10-8.
One down.
Barry's got around $120,000.
You got over 100, right?
Yeah. Probably just
Keep your big chips up top. It's big bet poker. You have to keep it up top, okay? Thank you.
Daniel's going to call with ace jack here. Generally, this is not a good thing with a raise and a call. To come in with a hand like ace jack, you could be dominated, and he is. He's got to get a perfect flop. Everybody misses. Patrick still has the best hand.
20.
That's 20,000.
Very nice bet by Barry. If Patrick were alone with Barry in this hand, he might be tempted to call. But he's got to be thinking about Daniel, too. Patrick's gone.
Hey, first pot of the night.
Daniel's gone. Barry celebrates, wins his first pot of the night, and he could buy some more blue T-shirts.
Unbelievable.
And now let's join Daniel Negreanu for this week's PokerStars.net Did You Know?
You know how on high stakes poker, a lot of times we're asking the other guy, how much you got left? You might think we're just trying to get a read on him, and sometimes we are, but mostly we're trying to figure out something called implied odds. What that means is, how much can I win from you if I make my hand? So say I'm a 4-to-1 dog to make my flush, and your bet gives me around 2-to-1. Sounds bad for me, right? But if I can win your whole stack when I hit, then it might be worth the call. So the deeper your stack, the better my implied odds. And that's why you see guys play funky hands in some spots, because they're trying to get it all.
Well, if you play a funky hand and get it all because of implied odds, you might put your opponent on implied tilt. He might give you an implied middle finger. Poker's a game of vast implications.
Where is it? 3,200 total?
Up to 3,200 with ace-queen. There's another ace-queen. You make it 32 with your ace-queen, I'll make it 12,000 with my ace-queen.
12,000.
Lex doesn't have much money left, under 70,000. Right now he's going over all those 160,000 hands he played the first week of January. Now wait a minute, hand 82,146 was kind of like this. I had ace-queen, a guy raised me. What did I do then?
All in.
Lex all in.
How much is it?
67-ish.
It's going to cost Barry 55,000 to call.
So how much is it to me?
Slow roll.
It's like about 55.
Barry's afraid of the hand he had last hand, ace king. It would really burn if he calls and Lex turned over ace king.
Little 4-bet.
Huh?
Lexus log.
Random.
And 161,426. Went all in with ace queen. One pot. Beam me up. You're watching High Stakes Poker. In that last hand, I think Lex went all in before the flop because he's tired of seeing people flop sets against him.
Up for the bracelet, you're running
Steal a million.
Well, like
If you're laying 2 to 1.
when Hansen and Jorgensen did the boxing match,
Yeah.
they were still kind of finding like, and everybody was like, oh, cheering and stuff. When I kickboxed, okay, I really want people to go like, oh, that's not cool. You know, like
Lex is talking about a boxing match, actual boxing match Gus Hansen had with another Scandinavian poker player, Theo Jorgensen. Our next poker player match is going to be Dario Maneri and David Benjamin in a mixed martial arts cage contest. Here I come to punch your face. We have small blind against big blind in this pot. Phil Ivey raised to 4,000 in the small blind with an ace-3. Andrew called with an ace-7. Phil Ivey hit the 3. He's going to bet it. Andrew feels that Phil's trying to buy the pot. Small blind, probably doesn't have anything. He calls 7,000. 6. Now, 6 is a small blindish, big blindish type of card. Somebody here could easily have a 6.
I just came, we're going to give it to him.
Check, check. Eight on the river. Both players like that 8. Phil Ivey's probably debating whether or not to make a value bet with a pair of 3s. Phil realized he has the best hand. He's trying to get paid off. And I think Andrew's going to pay him off. Andrew has been convinced from the get-go that his ace is good. No, he lays it down. Maybe that 6 scared him. Well, there was $40,000 in that pot. It's amazing the level of thinking with these players. With just a pair of 3s against ace high.
I'm okay.
Henrik just got a little better.
Players have agreed to put the live $1,600 straddle on for at least one round. Should increase the action. And the players are quiet now in deference to the straddle being on. You do not want to screw around with the straddle gods. Barry takes advantage of the straddle with king, queen suited, raises it up to 5,500. But here is Andrew with ace, king, and he might put in a raise here. Looks like he's going to. See if anybody else has anything here before it gets back to Barry. Doesn't look like it. Back to Barry. Barry calls the 11,000. Good flop for Barry. Got the queen he needed.
How much do you have there?
I probably had like 150 stars.
So not the first year, just look at when we have another bet on V.
I am one.
Are you a vegan? You can't have protein shakes?
No.
As Phil Ivey goes back to discussing his $1 million vegetarian bet, Andrew decides to take a shot. Maybe Barry has a small pair. Gets scared by those 2 overcards and won't call 20,500. Or maybe he's got a worse ace, like ace 10, which will give them both inside straight draws. Barry just calls.
So this one's easy.
Well, what would happen if you ate
it's only the red meat that you would get problems because you don't have the.
Pretty safe 8.
One thing, if you have good salmon or whatever, and it's just like good.
I would think Barry's call will make Andrew shut down here.
I could probably.
That's a tough food for people to not like.
I'm telling you, any sort of fishy texture.
I think it's easier on the body than chicken too.
Probably. So. I wish I could eat salmon. I just can't. I didn't hate fish so much.
44.
Andrew is in no mood to shut down. 44,000.
Come on.
Barry is all in. Andrew is all out. Barry knew he had to be afraid of aces, kings, ace, queen, or maybe 3 jacks. He decided that if Andrew had one of those hands, he was going to pay him off. Welcome back to the Golden Nugget and High Stakes Poker. Andrew Robo is talking to Kara Scott, discussing that very interesting hand he had earlier with Phil Ivey.
Can you talk to me about your thoughts here on the flop? What kind of hand range are you putting him on?
Well, he can have a lot of hands because when it's folded around to him in the small blind, he only has to get through me, so he's going to be raising almost any 2 cards, and when the flop comes to that raggy, you know, he's going to bat all those hands. So I figured my ace high would, you know, probably be the best hand.
The next card here is a 6 of diamonds, and it's checked.
I thought about betting, but I figured I normally have the best hand, unless he has a hand like, you know, ace king, ace queen, ace jack, or ace 10, or a hand like that. I figured I'd bluff him off those hands, but I don't think I'm ever going to get him to fold a pair. So I decided to just go ahead and check and hope I have the best hand.
And then obviously we see the river.
Yeah, the river's at 8, and he decides to do that. And I just don't think he's going to bluff there. It's because he knows I have some type of hand, you know, with showdown value, so I assumed he'd think I'd call.
Makes sense to me. Every time I see Andrew, I keep thinking of Marlon Brando and On the Waterfront.
Makes a difference.
It doesn't make a difference.
Barry would have thrown his hand away when he bet the 44,000. Andrew would have been a contender.
Because you
So insignificant. That's the only.
pay more per hand.
Doesn't make a difference.
3 more per hand doesn't matter. You get the button more often. You win more per hand too. Just if you pay more per hand.
I still think the next time Daniel gets queen 6 offsuit on the big blind, he's calling. Regardless of what he says, yeah.
I'd rather have 4-5.
Is it an aggressive player in a 1,000, 2,000 game or an aggressive player in a tournament?
In a high limit.
Dennis is going to call Ivy $6,000 raise with a pair of 8s.
I fold it.
Yeah, I don't play that.
Didn't look like he considered raising.
Play bad, I call it.
So you like to fold the hand?
There's the king Phil Ivey needs.
King, queen, queen, jack. If a queen hits.
Check, check.
I don't like playing the hand out of position. Yeah.
You call queen 7?
I don't call queen 7 either. Well, you do because to you it looks like a.
Dennis is pretty comfortable now, thinking he has the best hand.
Because it comes like Jack 10-9, he's got a double gutter.
That's 12,000.
Queen 6 is even better at that. It's 10-9-8.
Phil Ivey just calls. Not sure at this point he has the best hand. Dennis checks. Now feels sure he has the best hand.
Well, that's right. That's the double gutter is a queen 6. Yeah, I did that.
Probably putting Dennis on exactly what he has, a middle pair, and trying to figure out how much he can extract. Let me see if I can extract 20,000 here.
I wouldn't have picked you to be the arbitrator.
It's funny because I'm the one who was really close on the line.
Dennis throws in a blue chip as he looks a little annoyingly at Dwan and Barry for talking so much. Ouch, says Dennis. That little extraction hurt. Plus, these guys won't shut up.
Didn't it hold it? I think so. It's tighter than Patrick.
Dennis takes out a little Rohypnol pill, going to slip it in Dwan's drink.
I mean, I don't know how you play limit, but I assume you play pretty loose. Yeah, it's your straddle bar.
Yeah, I'm sure he's tighter than.
Where did you play him hold it? I'm putting heads up.
He's just a tight ass period.
I played like the 2-4 with him too. I mean,
Yeah.
Is that straddle and call?
Ace 4 is going to call the 1600. Ace 4 suited. And so is Ace 3 unsuited.
Don't know how to play them limit games.
Here comes the Queen 10. Here comes the 4-5. Tom Dwan is only looking at his hand to see if he can raise. There isn't a possible hand he's throwing away here for $800.
They might not know that.
Little $5,400 bet, hoping someone has a hand like Lex, Queen 10. Lex doesn't have too much money left. Lex could get in big trouble in this. But we got an interloper here. Daniel's going to raise it to 12-8 with a pair of threes. He thinks Tom Dwan is out of line, and now Lex doesn't know what to do. All of a sudden, his Queen 10 doesn't look so big. He releases. I don't think Dennis can get away from his open end straight. Dennis only has about 60,000. He might be tempted to go all in. Someone calls him, run it twice. Hope to snag an ace or a six. But he just calls.
How much are you playing down now?
Like 4.
I don't agree. I can take it. That's okay. I deserve it for other reasons, so I'm never
Yes, you do.
So I'll never fight it.
Daniel's voice is a little shaky there.
You don't talk to me like
He knows what's coming.
Don't talk to me.
Good luck getting there. Let's just watch this pot and relax.
Little posturing going on by Daniel. How can this Dwan always have a hand?
Sorry, yeah. Instead of you giving me,
Danny is scary.
instead of you giving me 12,
he makes all of he chipped it in so many times.
instead
That's
of you
what I
giving me
do.
12 shots,
Chip him in.
you got to give me 10 now.
You're not kind of a human, man.
I play from the scatter tees.
Dennis trying to calculate
Alright,
everything,
family
the odds, the percentages,
The family piece.
making it straight.
It's 2,300-yard course at TBC Summerlin.
Dennis really starting to get annoyed with the table conversation.
When next time he makes someone a bet,
That's
it's
where I
Summerlin.
want to play from.
It's like every hole is like 120.
From the family tees.
He now slips a horse tranquilizer in Dwan's drink.
Family tees.
Damn, this boy won't go down.
You look great. You look great. You look great.
How do I look?
Bad poker face? Doesn't matter when you play online at partypoker.com. It's fun, it's easy, it's the world's largest poker room.
That's the balance. That's the balance.
Welcome back to the Golden Nugget. This is High Stakes Poker. Now it's time for 30 seconds with Kara Scott.
Cash games are played all over the world in all different venues. So what makes a great cash game? The players, atmosphere, the chairs? Let's hear what our players thought.
People coming to the game with a lot of money.
You have to have a lot of gamblers, a lot of people willing to put money in the pot.
A nice high ante, a lot of money on the table.
A lot of action. A lot of people that play different styles.
Playing against, good players. I like to play against good players.
There's a lot of fish, certain characters. There are definitely certain people that I really enjoy.
You don't want to see guys who are sitting there waiting for aces and kings. You want guys who are really going to mix it up.
Players who like to gamble and are willing to gamble, like nice and friendly people. That's really important for me. It has to be fun. It has to be entertaining.
Me winning, of course.
All those things are true.
You gonna wait 3 to 1?
Also, good cash games should have some golf conversation and $1 million vegetarian bets.
But the money still counts. And you can't change your program once the first hand's played. Can't alter anything. If accidentally it folds 100% of hands, then you just lose.
Patrick will be staring like it's not a computer, it's just Patrick going, okay, doop, doop, doop.
6,000 bet and call.
I'll throw it out there and I'll just lay 1.6 instead of 1.5 just to be friendly. Alright, now I'll lay 1.5, 1.6.
You have to play more than 3 to 1. First of all, there's reasons you can't make the bet like that. Because if you get, you don't. No, that he's no. You don't understand that he's a favorite doing that. Because if he gets stuck, I was helping you now. Why don't you talk to me?
That's cool. Just kill my ass, then, Barry. It's okay since you're helping me.
Everybody kind of laughing at Barry, interjecting his opinion into this bet. Dwan's actually a little annoyed. Barry might be killing his action. Meanwhile, back to this hand. Daniel's flopped the nut straight, bet 8,000, and Dwan's called with a pair of kings. Here comes a third club on the turn.
A cross posted over that.
Check, check. Queen on the river.
9.
It's rare, but I didn't like the river card so much.
Flop a straight?
I did, yeah. Do you have anything? The king?
It's a good hand. Like on them straights.
Huh?
It's a good hand. You could have won a decent sized pot there. I would call the turn.
Flop? I bet the turn, yeah.
I definitely
Checks
call.
the whole way.
No, I bet the
call
flop.
river.
He called. The turn came a club. I checked.
Everybody just catching up with that hand. Again, Daniel checked on the river, hoping to induce a bet by Juan, and I think Daniel was just going to call because there was those 3 clubs out there. Juan's our big winner so far, 170,000, and Dennis Phillips is the big loser because he added 50,000 more. So Dennis is stuck about 170,000 right now.
You're at straddle.
Yeah. No, you can have anyone write it. Okay. Good deal. That'll be let me find one.
Oh. So let me tell you the last hand he beat me. He got in the 4 and 8 game on Poker Stars. I don't even know if you remember the hand. Maybe you will when I remind you.
Oh, no.
Lex is going to try and make something happen here. Raised to 6,300 with Queen 9 offsuit.
It's not going to hurt him if you're talking to me.
Yeah, and you're not that good, like doing 2 things at once.
I just wanted to ask him that.
I don't think he likes the 2 hitchhikers he's picked up. Juan and Patrick.
Daniel's son.
Lex is going to continue his story.
Okay, I got to put the straddle on.
And one hitchhiker gets off in the next town, and I think one is going all the way. Wherever you're going, he's going. I can't tell if Juan is trying to trap or he's being cautious. Unlikely that 3rd diamond changed anything. Be quite possible for Lex to have a hand like King, Queen, King, Jack. I would think Juan's going to make a little value bet here.
How much do you have?
You're close to 70?
Might be more than a little value bet.
Really close to
I'm a net.
Don't believe that. An animal we have not seen around these parts before. A cautious Tom Dwan.
I got a lot of respect at this table.
We're back for more high stakes poker.
You say that with such great concern for your fellow man.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
That's double the number of pots I won.
I didn't think he won. I didn't think he won more.
He showed a 3 deuce up, or it was 6.
First one I won was a deuce 3 hearts. That's right.
That might have been the biggest pot he's won.
It is. It's the biggest pot I've won.
Dennis raises it to 3,500.
Hands.
Patrick forgot to put the straddle on. And Tom Dwan was MIA for only that one hand. The real Tom Dwan has shown up here. Or maybe he's decided to honor Doyle. He's raised it to 12-9 with 10 deuces spades. Phil Ivey takes a second with his pair of 3s. Maybe he was thinking about his implied odds. He's in. And Dennis stuck 180,000, is in no mood to go out. Dennis has the best hand with a pair of 7s. Dennis really looked like he wanted to bet there. But Tom Dwan doesn't feel that way. He looks like he's more concerned with Phil Ivey. Maybe he thinks Dennis was posturing. Dennis is probably saying, what does it take to slow this boy down? Rohypnol, horse tranquilizer? I have no more pills.
I'm all in.
Dennis is all in, and of course Tom Dwan is out.
Oh, yeah, 1-1.
Had a pair.
Yeah.
I had a pair.
You sit and you wait, and eventually you do get the king 7.
No kidding. I'm waiting all day for that hand. Notice how many hands I played. Thought I should get a little credibility there.
How would you ever thought that someday you're going to pick up the king 7, call a raise, and stick 150,000?
Dennis was in no mood to go out there. If Tom Dwan had an overpair, that would have been Dennis's last stand.
I figure if I tell you about enough of them, you'll play that 383 faster.
Dennis is a lot happier. It's amazing what winning one hand can do for your disposition.
What about as the days go on? Doesn't it get lower?
No. 383. The only way we can
Straddle is back on.
running really bad, and I feel bad.
Phil Ivey's going to take advantage of it. Race to 7,000 with a king 10 suited. He won a nice hand earlier against Dennis Phillips with king 10 suited. He says, let me try it again.
He's not clear-headed and running good.
But this time, Andrew, who's got ace queen, he's going to call. And what do you know? Here's a real hand. Small blind, Patrick Antonius with aces. Going to raise and a call. Raise it to 30,400.
30,400.
You always run it once, Phil? No matter what, right? Okay. I always do twice.
Andrew looks like he's considering calling here.
Well, I figure you do. You want maximum pain. I understand.
I think what's going on is he's wondering why Patrick raised so much, 23,000. He probably feels that Patrick might have a hand like 9s, 10s, and Patrick's trying to end the hand right here. Andrew has been good in dissecting these hands. Seems like he's a little off in this hand, and maybe he's going to call the 23,400 and look at the flop. That glance is pretty useless. That's like looking at Mount Rushmore and expecting Abraham Lincoln to blink. And Patrick does blink. And Andrew goes all in. And of course, Patrick insta-calls.
What do you have?
What do you have? He said call.
Yeah. You can pick. On it twice.
So the base queen, it's got aces. One like this.
Maybe 4 times would be better, but you know, I don't know how I can win it 4 times. I don't know if there's enough cards.
That was a good door card for you.
3.
3.
Here's the first 3.
Dirty.
That's a good card from there, right?
Another 3, and they would split the first one.
Yeah.
There weren't many bad cards after that flop.
No.
I guess the
4 was a
4 was a bit 4 and a 5.
4 or 5.
It was a good door card for him.
Not one queen out. That was good. That's a good sign for you.
Uh-oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
And that's the name of that tune.
Of course.
In a game this size, with these kind of players, that's what happens with one misread.
Tom, you have any to give? Let's get it to 65 from you.
Andrew elegantly keeps his case open and rebuys 200 more.
In poker, it's good to have multiple personalities. I'm always mixing up my play to keep people guessing. Who will I be this hand? Trapping Gus, who check raises your chips away. Aggressive Gus, who plays every hand no matter what. How I play is up to you. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
We're back in our high-stakes poker suite. Well, we really haven't had any huge pots on this show, but we've had some very interesting, unorthodox hands. Just shows you what can happen when you get this high quality of players together.
Yeah, there are vegetarians in the world.
I've never heard depreciating.
Yeah.
Deprecating.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Daniel Negreanu.
What's this now? What's the question?
Huh?
It's drawn straddle. Daniel's going to make it 6,500 with a jack-8 offsuit on the
He
button.
said name a vegetarian in a high-stress job. I said Daniel Negreanu. Yeah, Prague's going through a lot of stress.
What are you doing there, sir? How much?
You got robbed?
Online.
23-6.
He was the biggest victim on
This is what he's doing, Daniel. He's got ace-king, and he raised to 23-6.
Yeah, but they didn't give you money because they said I won against those.
And here's what Daniel's doing. Daniel's involved enough at this point. He's going to call 17-1 and see a flop.
They showed me things that obviously I can't be so.
And it's not a good flop for Daniel. He hits a jack, and he's got to feel that Tom Dwan might have air.
Get there a lot.
No matter how bad they are doing it, you aren't going to win. Even Patrick isn't able to do it.
Maybe. On the line.
On one computer, you could, not on the other.
Dan's going to call. Tom Dwan makes the nuts. That king could save Daniel from any further damage. $56-6.
56-6.
It should be the end of this hand. But it doesn't look like Daniel wants to go away. It is possible that Tom Dwan has air. We've seen him do this with air. Daniel's seen him do this with air.
Raise.
And Daniel's raising here. Just like Andrew in the last hand, a total misread.
How much more is it?
Tom Dwan says, yum, yum.
How much more do you have?
About 140.
Tom Dwan's decision here is, does Daniel have a real hand? If Daniel has a real hand, like maybe two jacks or ace-queen even, he could raise and Daniel would call. But he's going to continue to try and let Daniel hang himself. Daniel's had enough.
You had what I had. What I was pretending to have. Never mind. That's good.
A $383,000 pot to Tom Dwan, mostly because of his reputation. And Daniel hits the bottle.
Next time on High Stakes Poker, Phil Ivey finds an even faster gear.
Come on. Thought you were just angry at Barry.
I am.
Another Phil shakes up the session.
I think you guys feel like the game just upgraded, didn't you? Easy money. Hard money, easy money.
And Negreanu targets his nemesis Dwan for revenge.
Why would you bet that much? Find a river or did you find your balls?
Wow.
River or balls?